Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope everybody's having an awesome day because today I'm going to be bringing you the 5 cringiest moments in NHL history.
His nickname is the Cup. He's a big burly man.
Now, there are a lot of cringy or awkward scenarios in NHL history, so if you guys could think of any that I did not cover, feel free to drop those in the comments. I'm sure everybody would enjoy reading about those. Also, a lot of people have been asking me about making a Q&A video, so if that's something you'd like to see, go ahead and drop a comment down below for that video. If I get enough questions, I'll go ahead and do that. But otherwise, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let's jump into it. Alright, let's rewind. It's 2008 and the Senators are down 0-2 in the first round of the playoffs against the Penguins. So how does Ottawa decide to hype up the fans? They send a half-naked dude dressed as a Spartan on the ice to give a speech. Now let's be fair, that's not the worst idea ever to hype up a fan base, but that isn't the whole story. After awkwardly walking past the entire team, "Get me out of here!" the Spartan addresses the crowd, and I'm gonna need a cringe counter for this one. The guy begins to tell his speech, but his mic continues to cut out.
We fight!
Then his helmet is way too big for his head, so it almost falls off.
Step time! Oh yes! Will them to victory!
And then many Sens fans actually claim to have seen the dude's script written on the back of his shield. His helmet begins to fall off again for the second time, and although it was a valiant effort, the Sens actually ended up losing the next 2 games, getting swept by the Penguins in that series.
He's standing in front of the net with about 8 inches of his shaft in his hand.
That clip of Bob Miller was recorded last year and has gone viral since. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that is the most awkward mistake a hockey commentator has ever made. And if you couldn't tell already by his voice, he was actually the commentator in the Mighty Ducks too. While I do think he is a great commentator, that isn't his only mistake on air. He also made the mistake of calling Essa Piernas, well...
Here's Essa Piernas.
But something a lot of people don't know about that first clip was that it was actually taken out of context. Bob Miller intended to say that on air there because he was actually referencing the 1980s when he really did say that on accident.
Sometimes bloopers occur in a broadcast, and in my excitement I said, the Oilers are coming up the ice, Mario Lessard has broken his stick. He's standing in front of the net with about 8 inches of his shaft in his hand. And my partner at the time, Pete Weber, was shaking with laughter.
I could honestly devote an entire video just to the cringy things that Pierre Maguire has either said or done.
Have fun, Buffalo.
All right, thank you.
Das du, Buffalo.
And you know, I honestly can't locate one specific moment that is worse than the others.
For the game. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay, I take that back. This next one is probably the worst one. Take note of the fact that he's really close to the other guy. The other guy is leaning away from him, and that Pierre gets really excited when the other guy says long stick.
He's a big body that can skate.
Hey, you mentioned Darren Pang. You could stack him on top of himself, and he still not be big enough than Hal Gill. But he had mentioned Hal Gill's a defenseman with a long stick. Is this a guy that's going to be traded, though?
You're an announcer with a long stick from time to time.
Imagine an opening ceremony before each game that honors the fans. It honestly doesn't sound like that awful of an idea. So how come the Canucks' 7th Canuck initiative literally failed so bad that they scrapped it after the first game? Well, it turns out that fans weren't all that excited about getting a jersey that said 7th Canuck on the back when they could just get an actual player's jersey through the contest during breaks or at the team store. Add on the fact that the switch to unveil the pointlessly retired number 7 jersey was delayed and the entire ceremony was widely considered a failure.
On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
There's also the fact that Vancouver's fans are one of the most vocal fan bases in the league, and they expressed their disapproval for this awkward ceremony, and that is primarily the reason why there is only one unlucky guy walking around with that 7th Canuck jersey. If you want to see this clip in full, it's in the description, as well as the clip for the Sens intro. This one's going to be very brief just because I know there's a few people who will have already heard about this. And honestly, this one is more funny than anything, but back in 2012, the Pens and Sens were getting ready to face off. And well, the performance by the national anthem singer was not necessarily kosher. Not too much to say aside from the fact that almost every player on the ice was losing it. Even Sid and Erik Karlsson were laughing, and that's when you know something is actually funny. If you are still watching by this point of the video, you guys are the real MVPs. I appreciate that so much, and if you did like the video, please drop a like, comment, or subscribe to my channel. Otherwise, guys, I will see you in the next one.